Pick an onion, any onion. Okay? Tell me, was this your onion? Well, that's not the type of kitchen magic that I represent. I represent a magic of a different sort. And we are going to do steak and onions. We're going to take a whole bunch of grilled onions here. We got a whole bunch of steaks here. These were T-bone steaks, but I decided to remove the bone from them so we can easier divide them when they're done cooking. Just get rid of the bones altogether because there's 4 of us, only 3 of them. So we took the bone out. Now there's 6 of them and 4 of us, so it should be easier to divide that way. Now, first things first, we are going to go over here to the front of our stove and turn on the burner. We are going to drop 2 tablespoons of butter right there. And during our cooking episode tonight, you may hear some whining, some barking, some phones ringing and stuff, so think nothing of it. Just think we're right in the middle of your working weekend at the office where everybody calls and calls. What are we going to do with this butter here? We're just going to get it nice and all over the pan here. Just hold it over that heat so that way it keeps on melting as you're coating the bottom of your skillet. Just like that. Ooh, like a skating rink for butter. You don't want to do that too much. With a beautifully coated and buttery skillet. You can smell that butter. That is good stuff. Now, we're going to toss all of this onion right over here. All you really need is onion. You can add garlic if you want to. But keep in mind this is just grilled onion we're doing. So, I'm going to put in a lot of onions. I love me some grilled onion.
Wow.
Oh yeah. We'll start off heavy because these onions are going to shrink. Except for that end piece there. Best to just tear that up into different sections. That's not going to shrink very much. So just, if you find one of those, just tear it like that. It's real easy. Get all the rest of these onions in here, and when you get all your onions in there, this is from one very large onion, as you can see. And what you want to do is cut it into rings, kind of like that there. And of course, if any fall on the floor, you got plenty of onion to spare, just go ahead and toss that. Now we are going to take all of our onions, kind of separate them if you want to, just kind of easily distribute them throughout your skillet. Like that. You get it all, because we didn't cut it up for nothing. There we go. And the last bit of onion from the center, here and there. Good, now you got onion. I'm going to stir this around with a wooden spoon so that way we don't scrape up our skillet too much. And just give it a nice good stir. Okay, push that in there. Yeah, get them all nice and coated. Give it a little folding because you got a lot of onion in there. So little butter for all this onion, so kind of give them a folding. Don't want to spill any over the side. You want as much of your onions coated with that butter as possible. In order to achieve that, you got to mix it around real good by folding it. Like so. We didn't tear you apart, did we? No, we didn't. So that's going to be one big grilled onion, but that'll be good enough for me. I love grilled onion. And this is going to go over on top of our steak, much like when we were making steak Diane so long ago. Out a little bit. Spread it out a little bit. And we'll just let that lay for a little bit while we go over here to possibly work on our steak rubs. Now to rub a steak, just like when we used to rub our pork chops, when we used to make almost blackened pork chops, what you do is you take just a plate with some steak, and you just shake this stuff generously over the top of your steak like this. And you see all your seasoning there is really covering that up. It's not going to stay there, but mainly because what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over, get the other side. Now you see that a lot of that's going to flip up, like it's going to fall right off your meat there. Flip it over like this, do the other side. again. And whatever falls from your steak, you do your sides as best as you can, because this is a rather coarse rub. But try not to handle this yourself. In fact, if you had some tongs, tongs would work a lot better than a fork. But work with what you got, and you can see that your steak is now completely covered in this rubbed seasoning. That's basically what we want right there. So, as good as we can with a fork, that's about as good as it gets. Let me do the other side of this real quick, because there's a bald spot, and I don't like bald spots on tops and bottoms of my meat, so there we go. Oh, that's a little better. Okay, we'll do this one first, and then we'll wait for that to become free, and then we can do the rest of them. That's basically how you rub a steak, or any meats really. It's really best if you have a pair of tongs. You can handle your steak better, and you can have a lot more coverage. Let's take a look at these onions now. Look at this. Oh yeah, now we're talking some grilled onions. This is almost done. Almost done, but you might like them. Just keep on folding it over. Keep on stirring. Keep on mixing. Look at that. Ooh, that's perfect. See that right there? Nice, beautiful charring. That's what I like. Nice, beautiful right there. Oh yeah. Don't be afraid if you see a lot of that in your onions. That is normal. So you just keep on flipping it over. Check both sides. You'll find that your onions are as good can be. I don't want to burn them, all of them. But when they look like that, you know they are done. So let's go ahead and get a bowl. Let's get a bowl of a sort right up here. Actually, this will work just nicely. A Rubbermaid. Don't you wish everything was made like Rubbermaid? Like airplanes and boats and cars.
Yeah, they just snap right back.
Yeah. If you make cars out of Rubbermaid, can you imagine less accidents? You'd be safer. Alright, look at that. Perfect. Alright. Now let's set that aside. Okay, setting the onion aside. Let's set it over here. Okay. That's done. You don't need to do anything else with that. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to take our first steak. We can generate enough juices all by itself, just like that. We'll see if we can generate enough juices.
And it still has some butter on it too.
It does, not very often, but if you want to use butter, you can use butter. Although, cooking oil would probably be better.
Which I'm sure we have.
Let's see if we have. Oh, even better. Let's do something even better. And it's something I've often worked with. Olive oil. This is a big thing of olive oil. Wow. So we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil just to help keep it moist, keep the juices flowing, and we'll just go ahead and add just a little bit. There we go. That should be good. Now, olive oil makes for better and tastier and healthier cooking. So now what we're going to do is use this fork here. Okay, now what we're doing here is called searing, where you cook it a little bit on one side, a little bit on the other side. Probably not going to be the best. We'll see. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to cook it. Now let's turn this boil down a little bit because it is a little on the hot side. Now look at that. That seasoning is just staying right on there. Look at that. You see that? Ooh, this is going to be super good. And we'll just cook it a little bit on one side, a little bit on the other side. Make sure you don't burn it too bad. Okay. That should be good. This will be a meaty gravy, and all you really need are just some of the meat that you pull off of your bone there. If you are making a boneless steak like I've done here, you can do so. Now you want to make sure that it's done fully on the outside before you proceed with adding your water for your gravy. And of course, down a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to add all of this together. This isn't quite done yet. This is a larger piece here, but there we go. Got you down, and you. All right. Now, while this is cooking up, let's go ahead and put these in the oven. We are going to be cooking our mozzarella sticks for about 15 minutes. We're going to check on them because we want to make sure that our mozzarella sticks aren't leaking all over the place.
I'll put it on the time of 15 then.
Well, actually put it 10. 10 minutes and then we'll check it after 10 minutes and then we'll see how far along we are. But,
Okay.
Yeah, because they did sit out of the freezer, and if you put them in frozen, then you probably need it for 15, but 10 minutes should be good enough. Now, let's get, that's my soda. You don't want soda in your gravy. Where is my measuring cup? Is over here. Now we're just going to get some plain old ordinary tap water. We'll work with a cup at a time. So, now, we're going to take our water. We're going to add just a little at a time. Now we're going to send all of this base for our gravy into the water. Add more. About 2/3 of the cup, maybe even a half a cup. Actually, that is about a half a cup. Get it started. It turns down just a little bit here. Now we're going to get our meats mixed in with the gravy base. And look at that, it's just absorbing that water right up, so we're going to need a lot more water. You notice that water is starting to break everything down there. So just use the back of the spoon and press into your gravy. It's just like making groovy gravy, just the way Mom used to in that episode in Mother's Day that I showed you how to make groovy gravy. It's the same procedure. Different ingredients though, because we're using steak this time and we're making a beef-based gravy for our potatoes that are just sitting pretty right over there, just waiting to be dusted with gravy and drowned with gravy. You can actually put gravy on your meats too. That's why we're making a little bit extra, because you can actually use this on your meats. Now we're going to need a lot more water than a cup. So, get another cup of water and proceed and keep on doing it until you get the consistency of your gravy that you need. Now you always want to do this over a hot flame. The reason being is because the consistency of gravy when it's hot will be thinner than when it's cold. You need it hot in order to make it thin. Now that might be a little too much water to add at once. That's a full cup there. But I know I'm going to probably be needing a lot more than that. So just keep on working it with a spoon. Break it up as best as you can. As you notice, your meats are going to be in there too. So your meats might actually look like clumps. But if that happens, just give it a little push. Push around. Keep on working, keep on doing its number here until you see the consistency of your gravy starting to look thinner. Get some of that off there. Go. Okay, keep on working. You might notice this big cluster over here is mostly the meats coated with that gravy base. So, as we go along. Now, here we go, there we go, there we go. It's starting to thin out. Starting to thin out. Starting to really thin itself now. Look at this. Ooh, ooh, I am in love with gravy. I love gravy, especially when it's homemade like this. Because you know that putting all your sweat and tears and blood, pardon the expression, into your work makes it taste a lot better than one store-bought. That's why so many people choose to do home cooking rather than picking it up at the store as is, because it doesn't really give you much glory in picking up something that's already been made, but it does save you a lot of time. But I like to prepare food and then really dazzle people on how well it tastes. Because you can't really dazzle them too much when you tell them it's store-bought, but if you tell them that you made it yourself from scratch, it becomes an art. And that's what cooking is to a lot of people. Cooking is more of an art. It is an art form to really entertain the taste buds in a form of a culinary experience. And this is what we call culinary. And look at that smooth gravy. Look at this, not a single lump. I like that. Ooh, that looks good, folks. What do you think? Think it's gravy? It looks like gravy to me. Let's call it a wrap. Now let's turn this down a bit too. So, that is gravy. Let's keep it at that consistency. Get rid of this. And we will call everybody to order in just a moment. Let me give the potatoes a final stir. Make sure that we are still at the consistency we need on them. Oh yeah, that's good. Of course, it would help if I served it with the proper side of the spoon. Try the steak. Let me know how that came out.
Hands.
This is the unknown eater, folks. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
All right. It is wonderful. Now try the potato there. Just a little bit if you want to. With the gravy. And
All right, pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, well I can
You
live with
know
that.
me, I'm not a huge potato fan, but I
Right.
mean that's good.
It's still good. And we got mozzarella sticks in the oven and about 2 more. There's
one more
plenty
to
of
go.
salt in that seasoning. So I'm surprised I didn't have to salt this. That is perfect. I didn't have to add salt or anything for that matter, but you know me. You know how I am with cumin. I have to add cumin because I am a cumin connoisseur. I love cumin, and only a half a teaspoon of cumin is needed for gravy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I love cumin. Look at the way that smells. I love cumin. I absolutely adore cumin as much as I do paprika. Okay,
And with that, the alarm's off.
let us check on our mozzarella sticks. Oven light on, please. Not even close.
Nope, nowhere near golden brown.
Okay, so we'll let it in for another 10 minutes. And we will check it in every 10-minute intervals. Now let's check it with the ground cumin. With a different finger this time.
May I try a little?
Should try a little bit more there. Be very careful because it's still hot.
That is much better.
It is much better, isn't it? Yes.
It's amazing what just a
love-
little bit of something can change.
Yes. Oh, yes. Just a little tiny bit of cumin changed the whole world in the recipe. That will be plenty for potatoes. And if it isn't, I can always add more water and thin it out a little bit more because it did thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to get my cup back with some water. So if I know gravy, that will thicken as it cools. So we're going to add a little bit more water to thin it out back to where it was. Because working with gravy is very particular. The consistency of gravy always changes as you make it. So in order to keep its consistency, you really should have this water close by. And there we go, back to the smooth silkiness that it was originally my gravy once before, now back again. Now, that is a wrap. Now, I got some extra onions I'm going to be adding on mine right here. And just top it with some grilled onion. And there you have steak and onion. And I know John wants him some onion too, so I'm going to give him some grilled onion as well. Throw some onion on the top of there. Throw some more on there because we got more than enough of what we need to do.
I'll get your Worcestershire sauce if you're going to use it, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Worcestershire.
Steak sauce.
Worcestershire. Worcestershire. There we go.
Just pour that steak sauce right over the top of that with onion and all. There we go. Now, what does, okay.
Hey, what do you like on yours?
Okay. Oh, she's gonna make hers herself, so we got that, and everybody can taste. Yeah, see what you like about that homemade gravy there.
I'll take the gravy.
Good. You like it? All right. That is homemade gravy made from scratch, not a
Oh, Mom.
single ounce of otherwise. So this is gonna be in the case. So
She'll probably just have steak sauce or something.
okay, let me just put this butter away because we didn't use this butter.
Yep.
And it's just a couple tablespoons worth. That one's gonna be mine.
Be careful, some of that stuff like that. Some of the seasoning gets, if it's just a seasoning, it hurts your throat a little. That's what I was coughing about earlier.
I breathed it in on the wrong.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, I hate when I do that.
What'd you breathe in?
I don't know. It was like I breathed in, but you know how it gets caught? You know, just the air gets caught and you cough it out again?
Yeah.
Kind of like the air went in the wrong tube. But
I think you'll like the steak, Mom.
Oh, I'm sure.
no onion for her, but I will take onion on my guarantee.
Take extra.
I'm taking extra. I am putting extra onion on mine because that's the way I love it. There you have steak and onion, baked potato or mashed potatoes from the potato flakes, but homemade gravy just made from scratch. And that's all we have for cooking with SonicBlu. So try this at home and see if I'm not right in this meal being extra doubly good. I can hear the Jeopardy theme playing right now. There goes the dog. Mark it as you want to, Jackie. You're not getting none of this. This is some good people food.
She wants MOM.
Yeah, she wants that. She wants.
Don't say it.
She wants MOM to VISIT with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when we're done with that, I'm going to show you how to make gravy from just your. Now, let's get. That's my soda. You don't want soda in your gravy. Where is my measuring cup? Is over here. Okay. Now, let us get a fork and see Ronan.
Oh no! Can't you do like my mom or dad? That's one thing. I don't think I should be on camera.
Yeah, if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to.
Well, it wouldn't be if it wasn't with my psoriasis all acted up.
Just sling my potatoes all over, why don't you? Well, I think
Potato
I will.
slinger.
I don't mind if I do. I'm the potato slinger, slinging potatoes. Pushing it up like daisies, side of the plates. Potato slinger. Da, 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 better run, 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 and sling potato away. Let's go and get some gravy. Let's get some gravy. Stir this up like this. Take the spoon and cover it. Gravy. There's lots of gravy for me. Got to have some gravy for me. Cover up my potatoes with my gravy.